All right, so this is for Diani. She's working on a logo. She's got the Illustrator part under control, but she wants to know how to finish up a logo and send it to the client. So I don't have a logo here. I just have a Valentine's Day card, but it's the same process. This is done in Adobe Illustrator. So all my pieces and parts are here. I'm going to save, and I'm going to save it as logo, whatever the company name is. What's the company name, Diani?
Boast About It Services.
Boast About It?
Yeah.
All right, Boast About It Services. And I'll just do that on the desktop. And I'm going to underscore logo. Boast About It Services underscore logo. I'm saving it as an Illustrator file first. All that's good. If it's all vector, you don't have to worry about embedding anything, but if you do have fonts in it, your final file is going to need a copy of the live text on the side and also the outlined version. Okay. So I've got my AI file on the desktop. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at it. Just make sure it's there. I should bring myself a folder as well, but there's the AI file for the printer if they ever need to change anything. Next, I'm going to go to File, Export, and Export As, and I'm going to create my JPEG and my PNG. So this is probably going to cause a few problems because I got some stuff on the side, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going back to the desktop. In fact, I'll go ahead and make a new folder, and I'll just call it Logo Test. Create. I want it to be a PNG. And this is probably the one where I'm going to have to go back and redo it because it's got stuff. See that? Oh, see how it includes all the stuff on the side? Oh, crap. Sorry. So if you don't clean off the sides, I might even have to add a clipping mask to get rid of the excess on the edges. So this is where ping can be a little bit annoying. But you got to do what you got to do. And you can also choose white. So you have that solid background, black, or transparent. But since I know I've got to clean the edges, I'm going to go ahead and cancel. And I'm going to go ahead and delete or hide, Command 3. And I'm going to have to crop this off. And do you remember how to do that? Just for the edges?
No.
All right. So I'm going to get a rectangle. And I'm going to draw what I want to keep. Draw it over what I want to keep. So I want to keep all the flowers. I just don't want the edges hanging over. So I've got it. And if we look at that in color, you can see it's covering everything that I want. I'm going to select the box and the flower with my shift key. So I've got both. And I'm going to go to Object, Clipping, Mask, and Make. So it cuts off the edges, but it also pulled it to the front. So I'm going to have to put it to the back or pull this to the front. Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. And this isn't finished. So now I've got to get rid of that. I'll just pop this here, but I've got to make sure there's nothing on the outside of this. And I'll go Command A to make sure there's nothing out there. And this might work. We'll try it one more time. Save. File export. Export as. I want it to be a PNG. And it's doing the same thing. So something ain't right. Cancel. Select all. Why isn't it doing it right? It's acting like there's something on the outside. It might just be these things here. How to cause confusion in a demonstration. So what do we got here? This can pull in. Maybe that's just it. It's just when you've outlined your text, you're not going to have this problem. Select all. Just want to make sure nothing is outside the boundaries. Okay, now let's try it. We're doing a ping 24. That looks better. If it's a logo, I'm probably going to leave it clear. And you can see if I put this on the background, I'll show you in a minute how that works. It's pretty cool. I don't want it tiny. I'm going to go 2000 just to make sure, and it's linking, so it's doing exactly, it's making it all big in proportionately. And that's, nice size for a PNG. You don't want to do too small because when they try to make it bigger, it's going to look terrible. Save. I'm going to put it in that folder again. I can find it. I'll just put it on the desktop for now. All right, so there's my ping. Same thing with the JPEG. I'm going to go to File, export as. I'm going to choose JPEG this time. And make sure it's as higher quality as you can go. Usually it's 12, but this is only 10. CMYK is good. 300 DPI is really good. Click OK. And then finally, file save as PDF. Save as a PDF. And if they want an EPS, you'll take care of that too. So file save PDF. I'll usually go high quality. They're not going to need marks and bleeds or any of that, so don't worry about that. Not for a logo. For this possibly, but I doubt it. And now I'm going to go to my desktop. I've got my logo folder here. So I've got my Illustrator file, my ping, oops, and another ping there. Let's see what's in here. So we've got the AI file, that's working file. This is the JPEG. It's got a little extra there for some reason. I don't know why. That's the PDF, which the printer usually just wants a PDF. And there's a ping. And I'm going to show you what the ping is cool with. And this is really the only time you'll ever really use a ping. I'm going to draw some random color background. And I'm going to place that PNG into here. File, place. Ping, place. Draw my box. See what the ping does? See how beautiful? You don't have that white box around it. You can actually see the edges of the ping. That's a nice thing to, is for a logo. But if I file, place the JPEG, you'll see a difference. It comes with all the white in the background. I don't know why I did that, but it did. But that's about it. Pings are awesome, but you don't need to make them when it automatically puts it down to 400 pixels. It's tiny. Make it bigger so you can stretch it without losing quality. All right. What? Any other questions while we're recording?
What's it called? Vectors?
What? Downloading vectors?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to, let's minimize this. Okay, so I'm going to go to free pick with a K. Make sure you put a K on there, especially at home, because it's not good. Let's just say that. We're at freepick.com right now, and you've used it before. You can get PSD files here. You can get photos, icons, vectors, but always go to free unless you want to get a subscription. You can also do collections, and you might get very, similar items. I never do that. I've never really done it, actually. Click on free vectors and put in your keywords. So let's do carpenter. They even have logos here. Let's see what they have. There's one. There's that one you were looking at right now.
Yeah.
Except it's not colored, and this would be a bear to color. Just a heads up. So let's just look up tools. Hold on. Carpenter tools. And let's grab a set of tools. Let's just take these. These are kind of cool. We got lots of different ones. So download. Make sure you're doing the free, or they'll charge you for it. And now I'm going to go to my downloads folder and open up the zip file and open up the file itself. Now this is a useless JPEG. You can't pull this apart or anything. And this is just trash. Trash it. You don't have to trash it, but this is an EPS. So this is a vector file. And I'll show you both of them. So I'm going to open it with Illustrator. If I double click on it, it's going to open in preview, which is useless. So don't do that. Click on the actual EPS and control click to open with Adobe Illustrator, or on a Mac, you can drag it into the icon, which is right there, and it's going to open it in Illustrator. Now I'm going to open up the JPEG in Illustrator as well. Open with Adobe Illustrator. Okay, get rid of glyphs. I never use glyphs. I don't need that either. So let's take a look at this. I just pushed tab to hide my tools just to get them out of the way. It just cleans up your surface. So I'm going to do a Command Y. Whoa, there's nothing there. That's a JPEG. There's nothing there. It's just a photo. This one is a vector. This one I can pull, I can move, I can change color. The other one is useless. Close, don't save. So let's zoom in, Command plus, plus, plus. So let's say this guy's, thank God he's grouped because there's a lot of pieces to him. See that? There's a whole lot going on here. But you're not using him. So trash him. We don't need the wood either, I don't think, unless you want a texture of some sort. So let's zoom in, Command plus, plus. Let's say we want to take this paintbrush here. And sometimes they're grouped. It might even be in a clipping mask. You've got to release clipping masks and you've got to ungroup to get things sometimes. So if they're grouped, you're trying to get this one paintbrush, you just have to go to Object, Ungroup, then deselect, and you should be able to get in. Sometimes vectors come with, you have to ungroup several times. And if you ungroup too far, it ungroups the actual object. So let's just make this a little bit bigger. I'm just using my space bar for that. And you'll notice I very rarely look at my keyboard. After you do this a while, you're just natural at it, right? So this is grouped, and let's say I want to change the color. There's a couple of ways to do it. I usually would ungroup, just Command Shift G, and now I've got it's still not ungrouping. Now it is. I had to do it twice, and this is grouped. So that's what I'm talking about. You can ungroup all this stuff to get to the pieces that you want, or you can bring my tools back up. You can get this tool right here, which is called the Group Selection tool with a plus sign, and you can literally click on a piece and it's going to let you grab it without ungrouping anything. And the other option, because a lot of times this will happen if you double click on it. No, it didn't work. It'll take you into isolation mode, which I don't like. So window, I'm going to open up my swatches palette, which is my paint palette. It's got lots of beautiful colors in it. If you want more, you drop this little menu down, you go to open swatch library, and there are tons of things: nature, natural, scientific, earth tone. That might be a good one for this. And then again, you said he wants bright colors, right? So I would just start out with what you got in your swatches, just to start with, and you can always change them. So this piece right here is literally white. I don't want it. I'm just going to delete it. This piece right here is brown. I can see that right there. So it's the fill. So let's say I want to make a black, red, and blue, or a black, red, and white paintbrush. And I don't like these bits unless I'm going to go like super white. So currently it's kind of opaqued out. You see that?
Yeah.
If I wanted to pull it all the way up to solid white, I could. But it's just kind of like an accent, but I don't like it, so I'm going to delete it. With my group selection tool, I just want a plain old paintbrush. You can keep all that stuff. Just bear in mind when you get one, if you're getting one tool from Vector, you might want to use one that's got all the tools in the same style. So you don't have to do all this 6 times. Or get a style that you like. So I like green paint. That's not green. Why is it doing that? Oh my God. Oh, I didn't click on green. That's why. This, I don't like the beige, so I'm going to change it to white. I don't like the gray. Maybe a brush needs to be browner, something like that. If you don't like the shadow, you can take the shadow away, take that piece away. You know, there's just so much you can do. And there's my little paintbrush. Now, if I want to change the other ones, let's say I want to change these pliers to a different color to match. If you wanted to, you don't have to. In fact, you come and do it while you're there. Just sit right there and try to remember what we did. What I did. It's all together. You can keep on grouping, or you can use a specific tool to avoid that problem. And deselect, always deselect after you do something so you can access it again. There you go. Command Z, there you go. Shut up, Sarah. Shut up. She's got it. Now, the only thing with not deleting those pieces is when you're finished, click on it. Now click on the pliers again. Is it not, it's not selecting it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good, good, okay. I thought it was going to.
It won't let me select this part.
Get your group selection tool. And deselect first. You gotta, and you can deselect with your deselection tool. So what's happening is it's like that might be in front, hide that piece. Hide it, Command 3. Now you can get to it. Delete it. Command Option 3. There you go. So it's just hiding in invisible land for just a minute until you bring it back.
Okay. Okay, that makes more sense.
So it was obviously, I don't know, is it see-through? What's the
Yeah.
opacity? It's 100%. Okay, I don't know why that, they just had it arranged differently, that's all.
Just wanted to see how that worked.
Where did the bottom of it go? Did it disappear?
No, it's just
Oh, it's there, I can't
it's
see
a
it, okay.
different color.
So group selection tool, you don't need to go back and forth to the regular selection tool. You can do everything you need with that group selection tool for individual pieces. You can deselect with it. Just click anywhere. There you go.
Okay.
So make the handles the same black as the paintbrush. There you go. Cool. So group selection tool is just one of your best friends when it comes to doing something just easier. And you might want to throw in a tab, if you're going to have green paint, maybe a touch of green somewhere in your other tools, right? To keep them consistent throughout. But then again, you might have all those different colors as well.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you don't like the little details, you can always trash them. But it's pretty simple. Now take that, where's that? Go back, scoot over with your hand tool. Push your space bar. There you go. Get used to that. Let's do the drill. Pull him over, make him whatever bigger if you want to. So always use your shift key when making something bigger. Shift. See how he stretched?
Yeah.
Check that. See if that's my cat. Nope. All right, so make it coordinate it with the pliers and the paintbrush.
Okay.
I'm gonna heat my coffee up. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Don't forget that little touch of green somewhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Command Y, if you do that real quick, Command Y, that's gonna show you what it's made of. If you can't understand it, Command Y again brings you back. It's
Okay.
helpful sometimes to see more clearly.
Oops. I did the wrong one. It is Command Option 3, not Command Shift 3, because that's a screenshot. Oh, I'm wrong.
Sweet. Isn't it cool? Yeah, that's pretty much the basics. I mean, there's a lot more to Illustrator than just, manipulating vector. Somebody's got to draw this stuff, right?
Yeah.
They got to know what they're doing with the pen tool and all kinds of stuff. Zoom out, Command negative. So, pretty cool. So that should be helpful. It's nice that you're drawing your own stuff. That's really cool. That'll look good in your portfolio too, to say I actually drew these things. But there are other options if you're in a hurry or something like
I'm
that.
probably going to do the second one like that.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a lot of tools on that one.
I accidentally took a screenshot. I did Option Shift 3, not Option Command
Oh,
3.
oh, no worries, no worries. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it takes a picture of the whole screen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, any other questions, Deani? All right, just let me know. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording so it'll render. Don't save.